Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice because it is Tuesday, and that means it is time for another episode of Terrifying Tuesdays, in which I will be reviewing a new movie in the collection that my father left me. This one is called The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. It is again by Hammer Films. And I figured since I watched The Mummy the last time, I might as well watch The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb this time and see what the differences are. Now, I think all mummy movies pretty much have the same plot. Some people find a Egyptian tomb. They are warned about a curse upon that tomb for whoever opens it will die. They just say, fuck it, and open it anyway, and then, of course, bad shit happens, and people start dying because the mummy comes and chases him down and kills him. Hammer's The Mummy had Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and some other people. Cushing as the Egyptologist, archaeologist, Christopher Lee as the mummy. This one is not a sequel. It is different. This one actually takes place in 1900, in which you have some. They've already found the tomb. They're getting the stuff done, and they actually, are dealing with it. And you have the benefactor, the guy who paid for all this stuff, who wants to talk to the group. All right. And the benefactor is an American. And he wants to, instead of putting this stuff into a museum, he wants to use this to make money. He's just like, holy shit, this is a great chance to tour, have all, this stuff, tour America. I can charge 10 cents a head because this is 1900, right? Charge 10 cents a head, show them the stuff, and we can make thousands of dollars, which is a lot of money back then. And of course, there's a big disagreement on whether it should go to a museum or go on tour. And what the senior archaeologist says, no, I'm not going to put up with this shit, and he quits. So you have a younger guy with his gorgeous French fiancée who agree to allow to, supervise getting everything ready for touring. Despite the warning of the Egyptian guy saying how wrong this is. During the trip back to America, not America, I think it's England, back to England, on ship, this is 1900, they may or may not have had planes. No, they didn't have planes, because I was going to say, they definitely didn't have, passenger airlines back then, but it's before they even had planes. They had to travel by ship. Odd things start happening. People are stealing notes and all this stuff. And it's not until they get back to England that and start setting up some really, bad things start happening. You know, because most of this is setting up, you know, thing and stuff being stolen and you know going over the history of what happens and all that, and you're trying to figure out who it is that's doing it because obviously the natural that's stealing the pendants and paperwork. Is it someone of the archaeology crew or the new guy they met on the ship who is allowing them to stay at their place? And then eventually, who is in control of the mummy when he goes out to try and kill people? So it's more of a mystery of who is actually in control. Because in the original Mama, we knew automatically who it was. It was the Egyptian guy who was in control, and it was just him trying to gather everything together and deal with the ineptness. But this is more stuff's been gathered together, and then him sending stuff out, someone sending stuff out, but it's who's doing it, and it's not the obvious person. But I figured it out. So it was a different version of the story that ought to have been told, because you can only tell the same. There's just basic stories that can just be told differently, and this one is a little bit more expanded. You've got the archaeologists, you have the love interest, and now she's divided between two people, and some English wimp who's not sticking up for himself when someone else is blatantly hitting on his chick and trying to pick her up right in front of him. Good old English, stiff upper lip guy. I liked this one a little better because there was more going on. It wasn't just the direct, stories, the direct, okay, A, B, C, and then, okay, we know who it is, and then stop. Boom. This is A, D, B, C. Because, you've got other things going on, and you're trying to figure out what missing, why are they doing this stuff, and this is all before the mummy comes out. And, why is it being done? Who's doing it? And then trying to convince the cops that there's a mummy going around. And it was fun because I like the story a little bit more, but I'm also sitting there wanting to scream at one of the heroes because you have the new guy that shows up on the boat, and there's something not cool with him, but kind of the main hero guy he's got this gorgeous French fiance or gonna get married, and he either just doesn't notice that this guy is just like completely macking on his girlfriend, which you'd have to be a complete and total idiot not to, or he just didn't care because it's supposed to show that he's stuck in his more concerned about his work, sort of a Reed Richards type of guy. But yeah, So I'm just gonna, if I had to recommend Hammer's The Mummy or Hammer's The Curse of the Mummy, Curse of the Mummy is better because it is. I know I've said this in all the Hammer things. They all look good. They all well acted. I think some of these ones might be a little bit better acted without the Peter Cushing stuff in there, but this one is just the same in style and look and acting. And so I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. So it's not bad for a mummy movie. So I'm just going to sit there and say, hey, 4.5 out of 5. I recommend it better than The Mummy. And say, hey, watch it and have a good time. Anyway, like, subscribe, and possibly share. And most of all, enjoy your mummy movies.